Hi. So I'm again back with another video. This video is about three top uh, car manufacturers that are using mostly robots, and it is very robotized their factory floor. So this top car manufacturer includes, the first one is Tesla, and the second one is basically Toyota, and the third one is BMW. I have prepared some videos. We will go through step by step to these videos, and I will explain what are these steps in producing a car. It is very interesting. I'm a robotic engineer, I would say, or mechatronic engineer. So I would every time I watch these videos, I'm really let's say motivated to watch the whole videos because it is amazing. So it is very robotized, and there are less and less human involved in production of this, especially for the Tesla ones, which are because, yeah, the Tesla is basically electric car. So they have a lot of capacity to um, limit the presence of human beings on the factory floor because of the less component maybe, or the ease of assembling. Usually the internal combustion engines and the cars that has internal combustion engines, there are a lot of process that needs to be taken down basically by human. But for Tesla, it's much more easier. Of course, there are challenges for ahead, but it's something that I will go through these videos. I will show you, and I hope that you enjoy this video. I'm not going to edit this one, so if anything is not very, let's say, clear or clean, I apologize. But the idea is just to go through these steps and to find out, yeah, what are the main steps of production of of a car in factory floor. And to say that,
Now,
I will probably start the video with Tesla company. I will provide you some information about the robots brands, then what are the use cases, and then we'll go to the second one, Toyota, and the third one, BMW. All right. I will shift to another video. Let's say this is from Giga Berlin Fly, or Giga factory in Berlin, from Tesla. It was taken 1 year ago, I think 2024, and it shows the whole process. So let's go through this process. And so it is absolutely amazing because everything is under one roof. So Tesla is a little bit different with the other ones because I think Tesla also even creates the melting. It has even create its own, let's say, sheet metals, or the sheet metal body for his cars. So yeah, let's say it has casting inside the company, because usually the casting does not happen in the factory floors, so it's done somewhere else. And so they got just the maybe the sheets, and then they do a lot of pressing, hydroforming, and shaping the sheet metals. But there's casting inside the factory floor, giga factory in Berlin. And yeah, so it starts with casting, and a lot of castings, robotized, used for casting machines. So these castings makes the primary shape of the or some of the parts that are not possible to be produced by basically hydroforming. So there are some fundamental maybe chases of the body of the machine, so they need to be casted out. And then comes the stamping process done by giga pressing, Tesla giga pressing line, doing also robotized. And I can explain later about the type of the brand of the robots that are using, but mostly I could say that these the red ones are from KUKA. So the KUKA has one brand names or a robotic model that I think. Just give me a second. For okay, so material handling, KUKA has two powerful model. Which one is one of them is KUKA KR 1000 Titan, which is basically for moving entire car bodies or large components. And yeah, this is very powerful um, um, robotic arm for pick and place and very heavy material like the entire car body or something. So this could be one of them, but I'm not sure. uh, of course, there are also other type, but basically they use for picking and placing heavy material handling. A lot of manufacturers from KUKA robotic arms because they are very powerful. It could be also there are the other one is also KR Quantec, which is also for replacing frame assemblies and panel placement, um, but the one that is very powerful and is using Giga factory in Berlin is basically KR 1000 Titan. Okay, move forward. So these steps use press. The press is basically if you put the like let's say a sheet metal which is basically flat, it will sits on this part, and there is a die cast that let's say form body that when the two sides of the press sits on each other, the middle, that is this material, the sheet metal, gets formed by a hydro. It's called hydroforming. So it use pressurized hydraulics pressurized system to form the metal sheet. And it's a very high accuracy engineering because the as you see that if you like bend something, like if you have a metal sheet and if you bend it, always in the corners it's critical because amount of thickness reduced unless you do that very accurately and very precisely with and consider the strain and stress on the edges and the corners. So this is a very important part of hydroforming shaping, and this is something that actually makes the car beautiful. I mean, like the visibly, like let's say, yeah, it basically forms the shape of the cars, modern cars. So these are these lines that you see on the car body car. I mean, the body of the car. It is very important. So this part is basically about hydroforming the body, and everything is automatized, so it goes step by step forward, and then when every sheet is free, it's called body in white because it does not have any color. Then you need to handle it to the next process, which is basically assembling the full form of the car body. So this is also automatized. So from the beginning, from the die casting to car forming, it is not still welded, but it is now, so after assembling all those cars, the bodies parts will go to the next phase, that is basically welding part. So for the welding, based on the information that I have gathered, they use FANUC, I guess. Yeah, it is FANUC. Um, this is something that I think also for a spot welding could be also Kuka KR210. And for so basically what I have realized here from my search, Fanuc was mostly used for paint shops, but what I see in the video is definitely Fanuc. What I see here, uh, which is like spot welding, and then comes the whole chassis, the whole body. You see how beautiful it is designed. Now it is in one piece, and now I see some people. So it means that after the whole body is like together, there are some human. You see some human that mostly they do the inspection to see the quality of the paintings, if anything is has gone according to the plan, and this probably they start to add some necessary adjustments. Or but then the second the next process is painting. So basically all those let's say uh, the installation of the parts, if they need to be to have like screws or whatever, somehow to be fixed to each other, was done in the previous steps by the human, and then next it goes to the painting process. So you see that the position of the back door is basically fixed, that it's everything is open, so it should be as much as possible that no corner, no place of the body to be unaccessible, to the painting process. So the it should be somehow that every corner, every spot of the car to be painted. So that's why they try to make it as open as possible, even if it's fix it to the specific distance from with a constraint or something. So you see that this one I see Dur. So Dur is also a German company that is they produce very precise robots for painting process, and they also have some specific tools that actually try to ionize the painting process in a way that the adhesiveness of the paint on the body to become even more by ionizing the paint material. So there are some specific technology for this part that the durability and persistence of the paint on the body to be quite stable under the different weather condition. But Dur is very well known, so they also have some specific 7-axis robots that basically makes the accessibility of the robotic arms inside the chase is quite astonishing. Of course, this one is not steel painting. This one, I guess, is applying adhesive, like gluing everything that is needed to do gluing. Because before, I think before painting, there are some parts that needs to be glued, and the paint comes on the glued parts. Well, I'm not sure. So, but this one does not sink. This is the because it could the previous one could not be the painting process, because it's not in the let's say container or somewhere that is like because the paint then it will it should be in a let's say quite clean room to be painted. So this one is definitely not a painting. It is probably just adhesive or gluing. And this one, you see that the shape of this is also Dur, and the shape of these are the robots are completely wrapped up in a specific protection clothes, and it is quite interesting that some of them try to move the components, as I said, to provide accessibility for the other arms to reach to the specific spots that are not accessible from the outside. So this is also one part. And um, then you design, like if you have ordered your car to be a specific color, and the charge, the specific color paint is charged into the yeah, is loaded to the charger or whatever, and then it will be pumped with the robots on the body. And this is also interesting that during the painting process, so that it should so be accurate that basically the thickness of the paint to be equal almost in every surface of the metal. So it's very important. And as I said, usually during this process, you can consider that, you can expect that the body of the car to be anodized, let's say to be connected to a positive value, and the paint and that the material that is coming on or sitting on the body to be negative, to be like ionized as a negative. So this positive and negative makes the amount of attraction, or let's say the adhesiveness of the paint on the body quite strong, and the durability and persistence of the paint will be increased. So this is something that I actually learned it during reading one article about the painting process. And then again, you see some human here after the painting process. I don't know why the Tesla does not have this specific what's called washing pre-process of the painting, because usually they put the they apply it's like a pool that you let the car go inside that pool, and first before that you apply this painting process, it needs to get some kind of anti-corrosive materials to be sit on the surface before that the real paint comes on top. I didn't see this process here, so I don't know what's going on by the Tesla. So this is because this is something standard. Let's see. All right, again, some visual inspection of the paint and some few people that you see that working on different. So, okay, after that, then we have some plastic molding again. I think Tesla is one of them few companies that they have casting and plastic molding. Casting for the metal parts and plastic molding for the plastic parts, like for example, interior design or the interior components. So this is quite amazing, and it's also robotized. So you see that after the molding process, everything is handled by the robots, and I think this should like a bunker. I don't know. It comes sits in front of the car, and this one is also robotized, probably some inspectional and then painting as well. So yeah, of course it needs to be painted and again inspected if everything is planned as before. So a lot of inspection is also automatized. And this process is drive unit. So Tesla does not have internal combustion. It has like electrical motors. So this is quite interesting. And they produce their own electrical motors. So last week I had a test drive by Tesla Model 3 2025, and it was amazing. That the experience that I had with this was never like the other internal combustion engines that I had so far. It is really satisfying if you drive. Driving an electrical car was a quite new experience for me, and I enjoyed it actually. I said to the guy that I will definitely buy a Tesla car, but I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm, I think my most problem is with the battery and charging the battery. So I realized that even the driving, I had 1 hour test drive. So I realized that the batteries, it depends really, it's highly dependent on the speed that you drive. So if you drive fast, it was promised 530 kilometer to endure this ride. Like, but I'm not sure really if you drive fast that can tolerate for 500 kilometer. Anyway, so this one is drive unit is also robotized. It's even the process of the electrical motors production is robotized. So the drive units are produced here, inspected, and then probably they are delivered. This is also one part of delivery or material handling delivery to this. Okay, this is the general assembly. Then now comes the part of general assembly. So in general assembly, there is a list of robotized. So you don't see that much robots here. It's mostly human being that are working, which should make sense. So now they need to put everything inside the car. A lot of pick and place. Okay, now I see again Fanuc. Yeah, that's just something that I actually. So the Fanuc one was the battery pack assembly was Fanuc M20IA and Kuka KR Agilius for handling battery modules and precision assembly. For powertrain assembly, they use Fanuc M710 IC for handling motors, inverters, cooling elements. Of course, that was probably one part was the battery production. And Kuka KR30L16 for torque tool handling, lightweight assembly. So these were probably the Fanuc ones that actually were used for assembling the unit drives. And then putting the top shield and then inserting in the wheels, which is also automatized. So and then comes the doors, and doors also, this part is also done by human beings. So everything, they are actually assembling the doors and all the components that is needed inspected by human beings. So I would say even the most automatized car manufacturing is not 100% automatized. Of course, that Elon Musk is like working on the Optimus. It's human robotic robot. It could happen that in the future, in 5 years, maybe all these jobs are taken by Optimus. I don't know. So yeah, so the people that are working in Tesla, I would say that look for probably something different, because what I see from Elon Musk is that he really wants to automatize everything and increase his efficiency and probably the yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so this is the last station that everything is checked and then goes out. So this was Gigafactory Berlin Brandenburg, and I think I actually myself enjoyed this watching this. So yeah, so you saw that it is something that was quite impressive. A lot of robots, a lot of brands. I tried to explain that what are these basically mainly robots, but from the industrial robot point of view, the main robots were Kuka, Quantec, Kuka KR210, Kuka KR60. These are the main precision and fast welding or panel position or part rotation, the main activities for this robot. And then for the painting, I think it was door, but my research also shows that if they all might use Fanuc P250IA, which is a 6-axis paint robot, and used for even coating, color change, robotic sprays with hollow wrists. For battery pack, they use Fanuc M20IA, M710 IC, and Kuka KR Agilius. For cell placement, pack sealing, and electrical routing. And for heavy lifting, they use, as I said, Kuka KR 1000 Teton, which is super heavy duty, or one of the most heaviest of its kind in the industrial robotics. All right, so now that we have seen and got ourselves familiar with Gigafactory, I would like to watch the steps that is done in by Toyota. So let's go to Toyota production and see what is going on in Toyota production. So this is a virtual tour plan from Toyota. And what I like about Toyota is that they use something, or they name something as automatizing everything, but with the inspection of human being. There is something so-called Jidoka, so automation with a human touch. So as you see, production of a car has 5 steps in Toyota factory. One is stamping, which is the metal sheet that comes. Then the second one is welding, and then painting, assembling, and inspection. So if we go, we will see that stamping is quite an interesting process. As I say, it's hydroforming, and a lot of these are rolling metal or steel rolls comes from the other producers of steel rolling things. So they try to open that with these systems or automated systems, and then they cut those parts that they need for the manufacturing. Then these parts goes to the pressings and the pressing process. The pressing process is not only one press that does that. So it's like several steps that goes after each other. So because sometimes only one sheet is not enough because of the heavy stress that comes because of the pressing. They sometimes need to do double or maybe triple this small basically sheet metals on top of each other and then press. So the pressing process keeps the edges deformation less let's say less sensitive to the pressing process. So this is something that they use heavy duty pressing up to 1,600 tons of pressure to make this hydroforming metal. So it is now, you see that everything is compact in one part. So from the left side, you have many parts from the left side of the car, and then comes the welding. So it's a process that you basically need to weld all those hydroform shapes. Toyota used Kawasaki in his so I just checked, and they're mostly Kawasaki robots used in its factory floors. So this is highly also robotized, and everything is done with robots from spot welding or even normal weldings. And yeah, they do also visual inspection. So one of them, and also I think one of the other robot brands that I saw was, I think it's called, let me go back again. I saw something here. Nachi. Yeah, Nachi is also one of the other brands that is used by Toyota. So this is done in Japan, and but to be honest, I see a more human involvement by Toyota. It's not like Tesla. Tesla had much superior parts in robotizing everything, and then comes the painting as the third steps. So you see that this is the important pre-processing of layers of the paint. So um, that it needs goes to these pools, and the first step is a premier process. As I said, that's is something that is actually deep into the pool of rust resistance paint. So it's something that is anti-corrosive and rust resistance paint. So this is something that I have seen in lots of robot car manufacturers. So this process, you see that is really half humanized and half robotized. So it's adhesive, applying adhesive. So after the applying the premier, then the second part is needed to apply sealers. So it's done by hand, and also some part by robots, because some parts is really inaccessible for the robots. And then comes this part of painting, which happens in a specific container, isolated from the outside, so nothing really dust or anything comes inside. So it's something really inside a very isolated chamber. And the robots as themselves are also packed and wrapped up with specific protection. I don't know about the type of, but it actually, again, I actually can research what are that, but I think it's could be Fanuc. But anyway, we can continue. So you see that it's somehow it should be that the painting process should be so smoothly that no specific surface of the body is less painted as the other part. So it should be very equalized. And that's the beauty of robotic, that provides such a environment that everything is equalized and every part, every corner of the body is painted similarly. So this is the part that you actually get charged by the paint for each color that you wish for your car. So they actually apply this color to be sprayed and to the added to the luster. And then it needs to go to the process or heating process, that the paint actually sits and remains very stable. And then comes the second part, the next part, that is actually after painting. This needs to be inspected. This is also manual. I kind of think that also was done manually in Tesla, I guess, after painting. But some manufacturers also use robots for inspection. I think it is a little bit exaggerated if you use the inspection by the robots. But anyway, so then after that there comes the assembly part. The assembly should be mostly by human. So in these parts are used. So what it claims that actually comes from many other manufacturers. So everything gets here and they wrap it and pack it all out, and then try to assemble everything, like the doors, interior design, interior components. Everything should be done by human. So yeah, a lot of cabling, a lot of then comes the engine. So I think, as you see that, like if you have internal combustion engine, there are much more components that needs to be assembled at the end of the line. So I can imagine that for electric robots, the assembly production is much easier, because there are specific components and they can be really modularized and packed. But I think for internal combustion, because a lot of existence of a lot of components, like the pumps, like everything about the motor, like the if it is a hybrid, for example, generator, a radiator, whatever that it comes alongside these things, so should be actually assembled by hand. So that's why you see a lot of human being inside. So for example, for the wheels, I think you saw that even the wheel installation was done by the robots, by the Tesla. This one was doing by hand. Yeah, so that's the list. And the last part is inspection part, which is this one is also done by mostly by human beings, and everything is just beautifully wow. I love the Japan engineering because it's amazing. And then testing the motor driving units, and probably also the um, shock absorbers functionalities, driving experience. And then this is something that each day will be done in Toyota factories for exploring that. So just I need to what brand? Uh, So I'm just trying to ask from ChatGPT what are the brands of the robotic arms that I use in Toyota for painting. So it's mainly Fanuc. So okay, yeah. So it's a 6-axis articulated paint robot which has a hollow wrist design for internal routing of paint hoses, smooth and consistent paint application, and high repeatability and flexibility for different vehicle models. Of course, because when the model is bigger or somehow you need more flexibility and reachability from this robots to arrive to a specific spot of the part. And then they use Fanuc P350IA, often used for external painting or sealing, and Fanuc LR-Mate 200ID, used for smaller components or precision pre-paint tasks. And also Fanuc is a Japanese company, or also based in Japan, like Toyota, which makes logistic and integration much easier. But Fanuc robots are basically known for its reliability, long lifespan, and tight integration with vision and control system. And as I said, Toyota paints processes are part of the Jidoka and lean manufacturing strategy that they say that they need to automation needs to be done in hand to hand with human beings, so it fits well to the reliability automation, also fault detection systems. And then there are Yaskawa Motoman, of course. We saw it in this. This is also another brand, and a little bit of some view of ABB robots in supply plants for overseas facility. But basically, ABB is mostly used in Europe. I have not seen that much ABB robots, which I love. Basically, ABB for me is my favorite brand of industrial robots. So I see this is the set like for Toyota, and the third one I would like to actually watch with you is the this one, BMW. Bayerische Motorische Werkstatt. So this is also the same process, the same thing that you could expect. So opening these rollers and then using the pressing system, so quite similar. And I found actually a lot of similarities. So it sounds like a standard. Even the type of the robot that is used, for example, for BMW and the Tesla, they use exactly the same type of robots for pick and place of the hydroform pressing the sheet metals. And then they are all carried and handled by KUKA robots to the next, and then they got assembled to each other again and put to each other again. This is also one part of quite nice engineering, since that even they are not really, these guys are not really fixed to each other or not welded, but they remain together until to the end. So it should be some kind of structure that they what's called they get locked to each other. So you know what I mean. There should be something like that. These guys, when they sit, even they lock to each other. Of course, they are not really welded, but they remain stable until the process, so like during the process. So quite similar. So a lot of spot welding, again, they use ABB. Okay, yeah, of course they are in Germany, so ABB, they are much more present. So I think this video is a little bit long, so I would maybe make it a bit fast forward. So then we have inspection, and this is adhesive. This also, they use ABB robots for the applying adhesive or gluing things, and then probably inspection of the glues if they are gone. But this looks like it looks like a gluing process. Yeah, applying the adhesive material on top. And so you see that the reason of that this light that comes probably is that for it's called Fertigung. So like something like that, this UV lights makes this material to get solid as fast as possible. So these are important part because they needs to be sealed. So that's why they applied after applying this adhesive gluing material, they apply light to make it solid as soon as possible. So this is again a part of installation, and these blinking things that you see is just for making sure that the material will remain there. It's a kind of like post-processing. So now that everything is on top again, okay, so for the ceilings, I see that BMW is really taking care of insulation. So yeah, it's something that is also quite nice about BMW cars, is that when you sit inside the car, you can't hear any noise coming from this from the outside. So I think that's why you see as well in the videos that they are really concentrating on the sealing process. So that's especially about noise isolation, they're doing a very good job. So this is something that can be taken into consideration. And there comes again the part of inserting the roof. And okay, I don't have basically a premium account on the YouTube, but anyway, the advertising is now over, so it moves to the next part. Everything is now in one pack, and then comes again, I think, parts. Yeah, remaining parts, exactly. So I go a little bit forward. So I don't see any other actually brand of robots, just they're all ABBs. It's amazing. So this is the spot welding process for the body. The way that actually something different that is in BMW factory automation part, like factory production line, is that the insertion of the robotics, the robots are very like, I don't know, it seems that they have a lack of space or something, you know. It is very limited. It's crazy how they could actually fit and sit all those robots side by side near to each other, because for me, I see a lack of space in this factory actually. It was not like that in Tesla. So applying the doors and applying the back, and then inspecting if everything is seated in a perfect position. So this is quite interesting. So you see that after insertion every component, there are a lot of inspection and cameras that they actually look if the two part are really like, what is the distance between these two parts that are sitting to each other. If it is not correct, it means that the tolerances are false, and probably the robot is not in the right position. So this is a very important part of the assembling. So it is it's inspected in real time after the insertion. That's why you see that this blinking, that's the lighting, illumination, to take them photo and real time, checking if these positions are correct according to plan or not. So this is repetitive. I will put a little bit, make it so. After that, everything is top, is gone. I would like to go, okay, this one is, I guess, about the drive, or maybe something related to the component, internal component of the engine. Maybe this one is actually, I don't know, maybe this one is actually a hybrid model. So it looks actually to me like the cells, like battery cells. Might be that, yeah, might be these are the battery cells that are packed to each other, and then as a pack, one by one comes out. I'm not sure, but it looks like the pack of battery. So because nowadays a lot of new cars are hybrids, so it makes sense that beside the internal combustion you have a small battery. So it's cool that they actually have the production for assembling the batteries and inserting inside the driving train or drivetrain. Okay, they also have this pool for Premiere for, as I said, the painting or rust resistance painting. So similar, the car goes deep inside these pools, and then there comes the painting parts in the container or the chamber that is also isolated. It does not look like door. Maybe I can ask this exactly the same question from ChatGPT. So I ask what brand I was going to. So just if I ask for, what is that for BMW? So what I got is that BMW primarily use Eisenman paint system integrated with Dur and ABB robotic arms for painting operations. So the brand is Dur, the German automation painting specialist. By the way, I had actually position to work as the service engineer in Dur in China, but I didn't accept it. Anyway, the model Eco RPE/L series, which is 6-axis robot specifically designed for car body painting, using both interior and exterior painting. And ABBIRB 5500 is also something similar for robots painting. For the robots, it's automated. But Eisenman provides the overall paint shop infrastructure, including conveying system, paint booths, and curing ovens. So after the painting, you need a curing oven to heat the paint. But I don't know exactly what temperature it reached to. So yeah, Dur, ABB, and Eisenman for infrastructures. There are three brands that are used. So you see, this is the final product for the BMW, and it's a very beautiful car. And yeah, so I hope that actually you guys enjoyed today, and we went together and I explained that the process for production of a car, the brands and the ABB and the industrial robots that are used basically in such factories. It's amazing. I think for Tesla, it was much more easier to produce such a robotized factory line. As I said, that I can imagine that Musk tries to even remove the humans in the next 5 years and use the Optimus, if I remember it correctly, did its humanoid robot version as a human to do their tasks, so it's not unexpected. So yeah, guys, I hope that you enjoyed. I will put this on the YouTube, and of course, and as well also make it as a podcast in my channel on Spotify. I hope that you enjoyed it. Okay, see you. Bye bye.